I think this thing's working. It's been a little while since I've made a video on my car, so bear with me about the crappy audio. What's going on, Trainwrecks? My name is Dominick Juliano, and I'm a Beautiful Trainwreck. Today, I'm taking you with me to the VA appointment that I have. I'm going to the dermatologist to address a condition that I have that's called Hidradenitis Suppurativa. Today, when I go to the VA dermatologist, I'm going to get some more information about my surgery that is coming up in a few weeks, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of injections underneath my armpits, which are really going to hurt a lot. But, I mean, it's a part of dealing with this. So, I'm normally enthusiastic when I say this, but for one, I'm driving, and two, I'm not excited about what's about to happen, but I'm excited about moving forward. So, let's get right into it. I've been living with HS for a number of years now, and like, I guess my biggest regret, like when I first got told, was that I didn't take it super duper serious. You know, I just kind of like laughed it off, and I mean, I have a few other things that were going on with me at the time from the military, so I guess I just pushed it to the back of my mind. You know, I think one of the most important things with HS, like living with HS, is it's one of the most important things that you can have with other things. You know, you got to stay positive. You gotta have like the right mindset where, wow, man, these guys don't have cones out or anything. Can I get through? Ooh, part of living in the back roads. Ha. I think the biggest issue that a lot of people encounter living with HS is trying to maintain a positive mindset. HS is uncurable as of right now. We don't have a cure for it. So it can cause a lot of people to experience depression because it's like being trapped up against the wall. It's like being locked in a vice. You know, that's slowly getting tightened, and you're trying to figure out, like, okay, how do I get out of this HS vice? How do I get out of this condition? What do I do? How do we cure it? What lifestyle changes do I have to make? And the reality of it is, you know, although it is not like cancer, similar to cancer, there's not a whole lot you can do once you have it, other than doctors getting to work, you know, with their whatever it is that they can come up with to try and help you. The big thing is following doctor's advice and finding the right doctor. Once you find the right doctor who knows what they're talking about, following their advice to a T is probably the best thing you can do for your treatment as early as possible. So when I got diagnosed with HS, I got told a variety of different things that I don't really need a specific demographic for HS. And being a researcher, I kind of accessed as much as I could about this disease. And the truth is, there's no true demographic that this disease affects. It affects people regardless of their skin color, their economic level. It affects people blindly more than anything else. It just kind of like shows up, and you don't really, because we don't have like a true definition of a cause of HS. Most people think it's biological. I think it's biological, like it's inherent. But because we don't have a cause, people are just like, I mean, lose their minds when they realize that they have an incurable skin condition. But the reality of it is it's in how you deal with it. That's what it boils down to. Once you realize that this is just what it is and you gotta move forward, it honestly becomes a lot easier. Ways that I have been negatively affected by HS. Well, HS is very sensitive to like what you're wearing. So I have to wear pretty much cotton-based stuff, no synthetic fibers. Otherwise, it'll irritate my skin. That's kind of a bummer. So I gotta be like selective on, you know, what I wear. For someone who works out as much as I do, I work out 5 times a week, and I study martial arts 3 to 4 times a week. I'd say that is probably what has been affected the most, because, like I said, when HS gets pretty bad, it can be painful to move, like even normally. So a lot of the things that I enjoy, like lifting weights and practicing martial arts, I still do them. But it boils down to, okay, I know that I'm going to irritate the skin. It's getting inflamed. So I have to basically make adjustments to it, you know. I get a lot of injections, Dermatologist, help keep the inflammation under control. I try to eat foods that aren't prone to causing inflammation, and I know that there's a lot of like debate on how effective that is. I don't really care. I haven't seen a huge difference in changing my diet too much, but I have kind of a strict diet anyway. Let's see, things that have affected me. Sometimes I have to wear looser clothes when my skin gets irritated, and that can be kind of a pain in the butt, because I'm a bit of a larger framed individual. I'm 6'2" and I weigh about 240 pounds. So while it's easier for a lot of people to find loose, baggy clothes, for someone who's, you know, big and tall like me, it's not exactly the easiest. I gotta find like triple XL just to keep the shoulders from not, you know, squeezing too hard in the areas that are irritated. So I'm an Illinois medical cannabis patient, and I use marijuana on a daily basis. And one of the things that I have found to be the most helpful is a coconut oil infused, cannabis infused coconut oil cream. Essentially what I do is I buy coconut oil and I infuse it with an infuser at home with cannabis that I buy, or, well, I used to buy, now I grow. But I infuse the coconut oil with cannabis, and I highly suggest looking into that for a number of reasons. One, it's a lot cheaper than trying to go to a dispensary and buying it on a regular basis. And for another, you really get to control what it is that you're putting on your body and in your body. I do smoke for a variety of reasons. It helps with anxiety, helps with sleeping, and more than anything else, when it comes to pain, I think cannabis affects me in a way that I don't try to mask the pain. I don't try to numb the pain. I more, like, I know the pain is there, and it helps me deal with the pain, if that makes any sense. One of the worst parts about HS is you're dealing with something that you know other people are not dealing with, so you really try to be as normal a person as you can. You try not to be like crabby, you try not to be antisocial, you try to, you know what I mean? You try to make your problem someone else's problem. And the issue with that is a lot of times we won't find anybody that we can actually talk to about it. We have a tendency to bottle things up. So I think it's important for a lot of us that have HS, take the opportunity to find someone that you can vent to. Take the opportunity you can find someone, you know, to confide in and talk to them about how you're feeling. When we as human beings convey how we're feeling to another person, well, we feel justified, we feel heard, we feel acknowledged, and we feel a lot better. But when we bottle things up, it's kind of like a pressure cooker. When we bottle things up and we don't let out any of that steam, any of that pressure, eventually it's gonna pop. And unfortunately, a lot of times when we start, you know, venting and we get really angry, we have a tendency to explode on our loved ones because, well, they're the ones that are closest to us, and we feel those are the ones that should hear how we're feeling, the most. So I cannot stress enough for people. What's going on up here? I can't stress enough for people to find someone to be able to vent to and discuss how they're feeling with, honestly, rather than risking exploding on someone that you love. My hopes through surgery are that surgery will go well and that I will heal up well, and it's going to help with the pain. The pain itself has affected my studies. I'm in school. I'm trying to finish school, and it's one less thing that I'm going to have to deal with. One less thing that's going to be nagging at me. One less thing I think that's going to hold me up. Plus, traveling when you have HS can be kind of a pain in the ass because you're constantly, you're constantly trying to clean your clothes. You're constantly trying to make sure that, you're comfortable. You're constantly trying to deal with something that you just is constantly nagging. And I hope that is going to be my number one source of relief, is not having to deal with this constant nagging. It's a lot of work dealing with this condition. I've been told that my surgery is a 2-day procedure. They're going to go in and cut underneath my armpit, and they're going to, I guess, pack me on some kind of healing solution. I won't have any skin underneath my arm. And then about 2 weeks after that, I will go in to have a skin graft taken from my leg and placed on there. I guess it's called a skin flap. And that's the way we're gonna go, man. It's pretty nuts when I think about it, but I think for a lot of these docs, they've done this so many times that the way that they described it to me was just a normal thing. So I mean, I'm gonna try and treat it that way as well. I do want to give a shout out to members of the groups that I've been talking to. Thank you all for all of your support and interest in hearing my journey. Let me try not to get creamed merging into traffic. I am in East St. Louis right now, so you got to be on your toes when you're driving in East St. Louis. Yeah, guys, thanks for all your interest, and thanks for some of the funny shit that y'all post in the threads. Some of the messages that I've been getting, the private messages. I always enjoy when people talk about my goddamn beard. I know that's never going to go away. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be as enthusiastic and smiling after my appointment as I am right now. So hopefully you guys get to see the brighter side of me before that occurs. Well, I'm about to go ahead inside and get my procedure done and hopefully get more questions answered. So I'm going to be in a little bit of pain when I come out, so remember this smile, all right? Well, that sucked. Oh, man. I think I'm just going to sit here for like a second and just, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, that was fucking terrible. Okay, now, full disclosure, despite my bitching, I think that there are worse things out there. I mean, obviously, people have worse conditions than we do with HS. But, I mean, it is understandable that this can really, really turn people's days sour really quickly. On another note, if you've never been through St. Louis and visited St. Louis, I'm not gonna lie, this place is awesome. You should come visit. We got some great barbecue here. So yeah, I think I'll get home and get this edited. Hopefully upload it at some point the next day or so. If you guys got any questions or any comments, absolutely put them in the comment section below. And I hope you're all having a great day. Take care, and the only way out is through.
Let go of everything.